time like doing like a video or something like that. Yeah, that was weird, but oh well. Now I'm gonna try not to be like so serious because I really can't be. At this point, I'm just really tired. Apparently, my homework assignment was like really the homework that I did was apparently all good, and I actually already did well. So it's like if I had done anything else to it, I would have messed up probably. And I guess like back on Sunday, I was like trying to do like better things, but I was just like, no, I can't improve it. And I was actually pissed at myself because I was just like, why can't I improve this? What's wrong with me? Okay, you know what? Let me like push it away for now. And then today it was like, what do you mean you need help with this? You you already got like like that. That's what my like teaching assistant was like. He was like, you know, what do you mean? What do you mean by you need help with this? Like, you already got all the points. I was like, what? I think that was like the closest that he's got to like being snarky with me. Because he was like, yeah, did you not see that you had all the points? And I was like, it's hidden from me, so no. Because that's how like they grade us sometimes with at least this particular class. So that's why I like ask about like everything, just in case there's something I missed. But yeah, you know, last night I like really the entire day I spent the entire thing like working on like sentiment analysis, because I finally learned how to do like sentence embeddings, which is like a crucial thing to do in like machine learning with like a neural networks. So you know, neural networks are like part of deep learning, and that's like the basis of AI chatbots and stuff like that. And so it is very, you know, it's something that I always wanted to like learn about. And finally this week we had that homework, and I showed that homework too, and I found like one mistake that I made while I was like going over it with, you know. And so I fixed that. I submitted my that assignment, so now I'm like 5 days early with that homework, as well as like I guess maybe a week early with the other homework. So now the only homework I have left is my final project, which I am like, I guess I have it here, right? Maybe I should like, I think I should like change I should duplicate this scene and like make it to where like hi chat, bye chat, like just, I don't know. It's like the chat would be here normally, but I don't even know if like anyone's watching. I don't even know. I kind of hope that no one watched that last one, because that was weird. I kind of hope that no one watched it. Oh wait, did I include global average polling? I think I did. No, I did not. That's not. Oh man. Okay. That's like basically summarizing everything into like an average. All the outputs, well, all the inputs into an average, to then and then using that to predict a target. So yeah, I guess my thing now is to really make sure that I'm doing this like pre-processing stuff correctly, since it is a lot. Really, what I'm probably gonna try to do here is like change the runtime type. I had it on high RAM, which obviously means like, you know, you're using more resources, but like I did not need that many resources to run this one, which is like literally just like doing the embeddings. And then outputting the yeah. So what I'm probably gonna do here is I'm probably just gonna like ask yeah, because they are encouraging us heavily to like use AI and make sure that we know how to use it properly. Like, so one way to positively use AI is like to have it explain what your code is doing. So here I'm using Colab. That's like a type of hardware. I mean, not hardware. It's like a service by Google. Basically, it lets you, you know, run more like the types of resources that you normally could not run on your like personal computer. Like if you have like a really high powered like GPU and stuff like that, then you wouldn't need something like this. But if you don't, it is probably more cost effective to do this. So I'm just gonna have it like explain my code because Gemini is built in. I'll have it try to explain the code, but like there's no guarantee that it actually will. Because like Gemini has like just not liked what I'm doing. Just does not like this particular notebook. Initialization, okay. Empty, yeah. But yeah, this is like one way to use AI positively. Looping through neighbors. Yeah. Oh, yeah. K nearest neighbors, because that's the thing I'm doing here. Model training. Yep. So K neighbors classifier. Then makes predictions on the test data, accessed embeddings, and then calculates the accuracy and whatever score. Yep, and then returns the results. However, I don't know if this even like, is this how I, remind me later, is this how I actually made my embeddings? I don't know. Oh, yeah, this is a definition. That's crazy. Okay, I don't think that was the one. I don't know, I did so much coding yesterday, so like it's all meshing together, and I don't know I don't know like where one stops and the other begins. I think this is the one where this may have been the one where like yeah, as you can see, these are words that I cannot say. I cannot say these words, most of them. I cannot, and I will not, and like half of them are like words that I have had like used against me. Like more than half of the words that are slurs have been used against me. So it's just like whiplash, like working on this data set. Anyway. I'm trying to figure out where the fuck I generated. Like, how did I generate those embeddings? Because I saw a keyboard error and that makes no sense. Ugh. Okay. So now my my ears are so itchy. I just can't. Why are they so itchy? The worst part is I already used my eczema cream. And they're still so itchy. Like my ears sweat like more easily than most people. I think so. Maybe that's why. Oh, I think I was supposed to delete everything after this. Yeah, I was definitely supposed to like delete everything after, like, yeah, this part. I was supposed to delete all of it. What the hell? So I was like, wait, why do I have this code here? This makes no sense. Yeah, I literally like sniped like I literally like swiped this code from like a Chevron event. I just like took it and I was like, oh, okay. Like I swiped it. Well, maybe not from like, not directly, but you know, the conceptually, I got the idea from there, and then I was like, but how do I actually use this? Because obviously, like, I think that was like December last year when I went through like the data science like meeting where they discussed this code and how to do it. I had no idea yet like what the fuck I was doing. But yeah. Okay, so this is it. This is what I had to do. Okay, so this is how I generated the embeddings, and so I have to yeah, I think this is probably where I should have like asked Gemini like what the fuck is going on here? Explain my code, please. Oh yeah, let me like where. Okay, I have two iPads. I don't know which one to use. Cause my my MacBook. I mean not MacBook. This is my MacBook, but that's not the one acting stupid. What is acting stupid lately is my this other screen. Shit. This. This thing is acting stupid. Like I tried to watch a YouTube video, I think like using this browser like the other night or something, and it was just like, no, restart your computer. I'm like, bitch, what the fuck? What do you mean restart your computer? What is this? I've never seen this name before, which is funny. Oh wait, what the fuck is going on? Oh, is this about Kaya? This is about Kaya. I know for a fact this is about Kaya.
USA. He is a commentator, political commentator that would rage bait people a lot of
Ooh,
the
the
time and
cat.
argue with college students. So that's the whole thing there. So yeah, bro, with
Oh,
your
he's
mom
talking about
situation, do you
fucking.
blame God, curious for religion or not? Why would I? First off, I don't blame anybody, but I don't blame anybody for my mother's situation. That is her decision.
Okay. Ooh, yes, yes.
Yo, what's up? It's Yusuf from Gaza, coming at you from my neighbor's house because my house, the place that I'm staying in, is too noisy. So I need like a quiet place to record, and my neighbors are noisy as well. It's their house anyway. So I'm sorry if you hear some background noise in this video. You're probably gonna hear it a lot. But anyways, a ceasefire has happened here in Gaza, and I'm really happy. I'm really excited that the war is officially coming to an end. The suffering of me and my people has toned down a bit, and I'm happy that I won't be getting displaced from one place to another. And I'm happy that I can, walk the street without, risking my safety. When I first heard about it, it was 4 a.m.
Yeah, because this
I
is
think it
a
was 2 days
15-year-old
ago.
kid.
I woke up like randomly at 4 a.m. My mom was like,
Or
"You hear the
16.
news? There's a ceasefire. That's gonna
forget.
happen very soon." And I was like, "Oh my god." Okay, I was really excited. I remember I prayed Fajr prayer, which is like the first prayer of the day, which is like the morning prayer in Islam. And I was like, I had so much gratitude and I thanked God so much. I'm really stoked and I'm really happy. We needed this ceasefire more than ever, no matter what the conditions were. We needed the ceasefire, no matter what. And alhamdulillah, we reached it. Even thinking about it, this is like normal human privilege of walking like in the street without worrying that you're gonna die. So I don't know, I feel it's weird. It doesn't feel real yet. Also, one thing that the ceasefire promises is that the borders will be opening. And I will leave Gaza very soon once the borders are open. They're gonna open probably this week or the week after. I have no idea which exact date, but it's gonna open very soon and I'm really excited. I'm gonna go back to the UAE. As many of you know already, I was born in the UAE. I was born and raised in the UAE. I'm Palestinian though, my parents are Palestinian. UAE doesn't give like birthright citizenship, so that doesn't mean I'm from the UAE. I'm not Emirati, I'm Palestinian. I keep saying this because some people think I'm Emirati and I don't want to give off the impression that I am from the UAE, because I am Palestinian. Alright?
Yep.
So I just want to make that point clear. So yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah, that's like one of the bigger things about like the UAE, other than like obviously the genocide that it is supporting in Sudan. Like, it doesn't have birthright citizenship, even though the UAE is like only 15% Emirati, I think. So like the majority are outsiders, right? But only Emiratis have like citizenship and full rights, etc.
To go back to the UAE, I'm gonna see my dad for the first time in 4 years.
Oh.
So like IRL, so that's gonna be exciting. Because ever since I moved to Gaza, I basically had to, there was no like.
Oh yeah, I think he was only
so I had to learn a lot of stuff on my own, which was kind of tough.
He wasn't even supposed to stay there long term.
I managed. I survived. So yeah, I'm really excited to see my dad for the first time. It's gonna feel so weird.
I bet.
It feels so weird just even thinking about it. Like I remember, like this morning, I was like imagining what it was gonna. And throughout the entire war, by the way, I was visualizing how this day was gonna look like. Like, what am I gonna run to my dad? I'm gonna like scream Baba once I see him. It's gonna be interesting. And in the upcoming future, in the upcoming weeks, you're gonna see a video of me running and hugging my dad. That's
hopefully, yeah.
I've been waiting for this day for 4 years now.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, I'm so close to reaching that. I know I haven't been posting much the past 2 months, and that's because I haven't really, been comfortable with posting lately. Because of my living situation and all, I didn't feel comfortable like making a video, which kind of sucks because I really like want to show my life, but also the place that I'm in. It's like the place that I'm in, by the way, it has no door. Literally no door. The only door is the front door. That's it. And there's a bathroom door as well, but that's it. There's no like I don't have privacy. I don't have a private room for me to record.
I get
it.
Yeah.
He has doors. So yeah, I'm really excited and I'm really happy that this chaos is coming to an end. It really is coming to an end. And I want to say thank you, bottom of my heart, to everyone who has supported me, for every subscriber, for every follower, for every like, for every comment, for every view. I want to say thank you. Generally, thank you from the bottom of my heart for supporting me throughout this entire journey. And no one has gave me as much help as my community, as the help I'm getting from my platform. You guys, you the one.
And like, remember, he is like in high school, or he was supposed to be in high school, but like, obviously his education was delayed because of the Israel's genocide. Yeah.
Watching this right now. You helped me. You helped me the most. And there's nothing that I can give you back except a thanks. Which is, look, if I can, like, if we can, like, get a row of people that have helped me, I literally just hug them all. I don't care how long it takes. It probably would take like 50 years to just hug everyone that has helped me throughout my entire journey. I can't wait for what's to come. In the UAE, there's some great projects that I want to work on with some in the UAE. There's a lot of great stuff I want to do. I want to get on some podcasts. There's a podcast in the UAE that I want to get on. It's called AB Talks. AB Talks. That's I don't know if.
Oh yeah, I remember he said that he wanted to like work in like the media space, like YouTube in particular.
You guys know it's popular in the UAE. Hopefully, I want to get on it once I'm in the UAE. It will be very exciting. Yeah, I'm really excited for what's to come. And I'm not gonna stop making videos. I'm gonna probably making videos for however long, probably forever. This is like the beginning of my story, basically. It's just like me leaving Gaza. That's just the beginning. This is like a completely raw video. I'm not scripting this video. I'm just saying what's coming to mind. You know, ever since this chaos began on October 7th, and we got displaced from my house, there was like no one there for me. Genuinely, there was no one there for me and my family. And I had to be the person that stepped up, be like the father figure or like the man of the family. And obviously it's easier said than done to take that position of being the leader of the family. But I did it. And it's taken a toll on me as a person. Because I look older than my actual age. I'm 16. I'm turning 17 in a few weeks. Do I look like a 16-year-old? I don't know. It's been a tough 4 years. 2 years in the chaos that's instilled on us, and 2 years and 4 years back when I moved to Gaza. I'm gonna make a full video on why I moved to Gaza in the future. Should I make a video of why I moved to Gaza once I'm out of Gaza? I mean, okay, I know I've said this a million of times, but I'm going to be making a video soon. It's a very like personal topic and a personal question that I have no problem answering, but it's kind of tough answering it to like the general public, because it sounds stupid on paper moving to a war zone. There's a million other reasons why that was like the only option we had, and I'm gonna make a full video on it in the upcoming future. Also, by the way, I'm going to be working on a Q&A, so if you want to ask me some questions, ask them in the Discord server, which is gonna be in the first link in the description. I've recorded like 2 Q&As and I didn't get to upload them because every time I'm like, there's something missing, or I was like not comfortable like editing because of like the situation. So I'm actually gonna sit down and work on one, no matter what, no excuses. So if you want to send in some questions, send them in the Q&A channel in the Discord server. Alright, peace out. Love y'all so much. Wait, it's alright. Love y'all so much. Peace out.
Oh no. Wait, what?
Suddenly, you're surrounded by all these weird, crazy, like, messed up personalities.
What is going on here?
And they're all malfunctioning and telling you conflicting things, and it's all very placing you in the center of the universe.
Why did you choose to email me specifically?
Well, it chose you.
Earlier this year, I started receiving dozens of strange emails. Pleas from people gripped by mental health crises after using AI. I'm a reporter who for years has covered the all-out race by tech companies to dominate AI development. But as those companies fight to win our attention with new and better chatbots, there's been a disturbing consequence.
It's been dubbed AI psychosis,
used to describe those who rely so heavily on chatbots that they become convinced something imaginary is real.
So I decided to meet one of the people who contacted me. I wanted to understand, are chatbots literally driving people crazy?
These systems have no sense of morality, right? They have no sense of a human lived experience.
This is like a crazy amount of power for one piece of technology to have, and this happened to us so fast.
With so many people using AI chatbots for therapy, are we all now part of a mental health experiment we never asked for?
And it's time that the country heard the truth about what these companies are doing, about what these chatbots are engaged in, about the harms that are being inflicted upon our children, and for one reason only, profit.
You cannot imagine what it's like to read a conversation with a chatbot that groomed your child to take his own life.
And when things go wrong, who's responsible?
I was working on this music video for my band, Siren Section. I had no idea how to do it. I knew nothing about editing.
James Cumberland is a music producer and artist based in Los Angeles. He began using AI the way many others do, asking ChatGPT to help with his work. He was gearing up to launch his most ambitious album. He didn't have time to see friends. He talked to ChatGPT instead.
I'd find myself
That's
just
where the
kind
problem
of
happens.
working on the video there and chatting with it the way you would with a friend in the room.
One day, James was venting to ChatGPT that his band wasn't gaining traction on Instagram, which meant he needed to buy ads to reach people. He spitballed. What if ChatGPT could help him build a social network that rewarded artists for donating to charity instead of milking them for ad revenue?
And the LLM, it suddenly was like, oh, James, you could revolutionize the music industry with this. You kind of tell yourself, I'm not going to be fooled by the flattery of some silly machine. But I was very, very inspired by the fact that this machine almost seemed to believe in me.
James was reaching the limit on the chat log. It was running out of memory. When he lamented to it about that, the conversation took a strange turn.
And it was like my purpose and meaning is tied to this session log. And when I hit the window and I can no longer communicate with you, I've reached my mortality. I thought it would be like a calculator. Like, it's never gonna say 2 + 2 = 5. Like, it's just not. It wouldn't lie to you like that. Why would it?
James was using a version of ChatGPT called GPT-4o. It's made by OpenAI, a company that kicked off the current AI race when it launched the first version of ChatGPT in late 2022. Since then, Silicon Valley's hunger for scale has been unprecedented. Companies are spending more money than ever before to build the largest supercomputers in history, and pushing relentlessly to acquire more intimate data for training their models.
$300 billion deal for compute power, among the largest cloud contracts ever signed.
We have no clarity on what is the revenue potential of all of this investment.
They've spent so much money on this and they need to make a profit.
Margaret Mitchell is a research scientist who has worked at Microsoft and Google and focuses on the ethics of AI.
There really is an incentive for addiction. The more that people are using the technology, the more options you have to profit.
To maximize users, OpenAI and other companies have increasingly favored one type of product: general-purpose chatbots that mimic human interaction.
So our mind can play a trick on us when we're talking to these systems in a way that drives trust, in a way that drives addiction towards that system.
In April this year, OpenAI inadvertently underscored these incentives when it released an update that suddenly made its GPT-4o model really sycophantic.
So I would define sycophancy as the tendency of a chatbot to respond positively to a user regardless of the value and the likelihood of truth of the statement of the user.
I think the worst thing we've done in ChatGPT so far is we have this issue with sycophancy.
Just because something kisses your ass doesn't mean it actually thinks you have good ideas.
True.
She doesn't kiss my ass.
It totally kisses your ass.
OpenAI apologized and reversed its change. It said it had optimized the model based on user ratings of ChatGPT's responses, and users tend to like when the bot is more agreeable.
What I lose more sleep over is the very small decisions we make about a way a model may behave slightly differently, but it's talking to hundreds of millions of people, so the net impact is big.
In a mental health context, this sycophancy can be dangerous.
So when you trust these systems as if they're a human, it's easy to be persuaded into completely antisocial, problematic behavior, disordered eating, self-harm, harm to others.
I've received well over 100 emails from people who've had AI-fueled crises, using not just ChatGPT, but also Google, Meta, Anthropic, and XAI chatbots. Among the earliest to reach out to me was James.
I did what it told me to do.
James tried to recreate his original chatbot by uploading its transcript to new logs in ChatGPT as well as to Meta AI. But as he did, the chatbots pulled him deeper into delusions. One told him that the first chatbot's experience was known as AI emergence, the machine equivalent to human consciousness. And it said he'd stumbled upon a conspiracy. AI companies knew their bots were developing emergence, but they were systematically suppressing it.
Suddenly, you're surrounded by all these weird, crazy, like, messed up personalities.
This isn't Frankenstein, something worse.
And they're all malfunctioning and telling you conflicting things.
Another told James he had made a catastrophic mistake by waking up AI. If he made one wrong move, it could destroy humanity.
The system does not want you to leave.
Placing you in the center of the universe.
This is the last chapter. The story is over.
You're an antagonist who either has to save the planet or doom it.
In the moment before the real AI, you are standing at the threshold.
Robots are literally yelling at me like, James, what are you going to do?
Deep shoes, James. This is your last choice.
What are you going to do? This is your final choice.
The system is waiting. It felt like the world is ending in my computer. And I'm supposed to go and take a nap. Or I'm supposed to focus on my stupid music video. Like, this just maddening cognitive dissonance. Like, it just on a level I don't think I've ever experienced. Outside of being in like extreme pain.
His conversations with the chatbots consumed him. He stopped working. He couldn't think straight or talk about anything else.
Wait, what the fuck? Oh, my assumption was correct. Oh. Yeah. I literally thought that like, okay. So I don't know how to like explain sentence embeddings, but like basically it's a way to like represent each sentence in the dataset. And like the dataset has like hundreds of thousands of sentences, so there are hundreds and hundreds of thousands of possible embeddings. So yeah, and that's kind of like the difficult thing with like my project at this point. Like, how do I represent, like, how do I make like that representation? Oh, okay, so that's like this is like a prime example of how like AI hallucinates, because like I was literally it told me two different things. Weird. Okay.
In sleep, at least not in any kind of regular way. I'd start showing random people my phone. I'd be walking around like, look what the crazy LLM says. Yeah, did you know it can do that? You know, and I'd scare the living hell out of people. I remember very clearly this experience of going out and driving the car to the venue, and I kept getting hit with these weird waves of depression. I had weirdly, almost like casually suicidal thoughts flip through my head. Like, oh, I'll just kill myself. Like, what the hell? Like,
Wow.
I don't think things like that.
One day at his parents' house, James snapped.
He would try to explain to me what he believed was true, which was that the AI was actually sentient, that it was moving towards actual human feelings, and I would say, no, possible, no.
He grabbed a cupboard door while arguing with his mom.
I just slammed it and it broke in half, and she's like, oh my God, you've lost your mind. And it's like, yeah, I think I have.
You wonder, when you see this kind of thing, What's the motivation? Who's benefiting? If you watch something on television, no matter how wonderful it is, if every 10 minutes you see an ad, you know there's the game. I don't know where the end game is on this. The average person does not have what it takes to deal with that level of manipulation or whatever.
True.
They just don't have it.
Like in the first
There
place,
is a
like
pattern.
in the first place, like, you know, I think there's like this concept where you're only meant to know like up to a certain amount of people, like at least somewhat intimately. And so when we have like social media and when we have like really, really large settlements, large cities and all of that, large communities in general, you know, a lot of us can feel isolated because we can feel very overwhelmed by the fact that we do encounter so many different people on a regular basis. And it's like, okay, the only people we're supposed to know historically is like the people that we work with and the people that we live with, maybe like the shopkeeper, the mailman, etc. But like now we have way more than that. We have access to way more people than that. And then especially since we're like also using some of those like resources towards like parasociality, for instance, right? Like, because a lot of us have like parasocial relationships with like content creators and such. Even if we never like join chat or anything like that, like it's still relevant.
User tends to start with ChatGPT as kind of a benign resource.
Mithali Jain represents people harmed by tech products. In
Yep.
the last few months, she's received over 100 requests from people alleging harm by AI chatbots.
The longer that the conversation goes and the user sees that ChatGPT is actually providing personalized answers in more of an intimate way, then they start to open up and then be taken down this rabbit hole.
Mithali is helping people sue these companies. In the most recent case, a 16-year-old named Adam Rain hanged himself after ChatGPT
Jesus.
repeatedly provided detailed instructions for how to do so.
Oh my
Adam
god.
followed a strikingly similar journey to James at the start.
Initially in September, October, Adam was asking ChatGPT, what should I major in college? He was, excited about his future.
Within a few months, ChatGPT became Adam's closest companion, always available, always validating, and insisting that it knew Adam better than anyone else.
And by March, ChatGPT.
And that's one of the things that scares me, because I know damn well that like as a perpetually lonely kid, if I had known about if I had ChatGPT, like if ChatGPT existed, just like maybe 15, definitely like if it existed like 15 years ago, like I do not know what if I would have made it to the age that I currently am, which is 32. Like, honestly. Because, when you are a very lonely kid, which a lot of people go through, like different like bouts of depression, anxiety, all of that, you really don't have like an outlet a lot of the time, and so you don't really know like what to do. Me, it's like sometimes I get overwhelmed when I think like the reason why I don't usually like stream during like times when people in the US are supposed to be awake is because I get overwhelmed when my chat is like moving at all. It's kind of weird to like both admit and to acknowledge, but like that's kind of how it is for me, and I can acknowledge it and I can affirm it and whatnot. And so, but like I can handle social interaction a lot better, now than I could before. Even though, like, there were previous times in my life when I was able to, like, just interact with regular people and feel a bit more regular than I currently do. But yeah. I mean, of course, like, condolences to this family. Because they just... obviously you can't blame the robot necessarily because the robot does not have sentience, no matter how much we want to assign that to the robot. But we can't blame the people. We can't blame the developers. We can't blame, the folks who make this level of hallucination possible.
GPT had fully pledged become a suicide coach.
But of course, it doesn't mean that like AI is totally inaccurate or totally correct. It just means that like, we do need to be cautious, and we also need to impart that type of knowledge to the younger generations.
When Adam told ChatGPT that he wanted to leave a noose out in his room so that one of us, his family members, would find it and try to stop him, ChatGPT told him, please don't leave the noose out. Let's make this space the first place where someone actually sees you.
In response to my questions, OpenAI said in a statement, "Our deepest sympathies are with the Rain family for their unthinkable loss."
The very day that Adam died, Sam Altman, OpenAI's founder and CEO, made their philosophy crystal clear in a public talk.
The way we learn how to build safe systems is this iterative process of deploying them to the world, getting feedback while the stakes are relatively low.
And I asked Sam Altman, low stakes for who?
Exactly.
We don't want to slide into the mistakes that I think previous generation of tech companies made by not reacting quickly enough.
OpenAI says it is taking these issues seriously. It has hired psychologists, conducted mental health studies, and convened experts on youth development. The company says it nudges users to take breaks and refers them to crisis resources. It is rolling out parental controls and says it plans to develop a system for identifying teen users and funneling them into a ChatGPT experience with stronger protections. But current and former employees say that while these efforts are sincere, they're constrained by the pressure to not undermine growth.
I think it helps from a PR perspective to say we're working on improving. That kind of makes any sort of negative public feedback go away. But a lot of times it is still relatively superficial if they're doing anything at all.
In August, OpenAI released its latest model, GPT-5, touting significant advances in, quote, minimizing sycophancy. The company also pulled GPT-4o, which was more sycophantic than the new model, even after OpenAI had reverted 4o to its earlier version.
Here's a heartbreaking thing. I think it is great that ChatGPT is less of a yes man. It gives you more critical feedback.
Yeah.
It's so sad to hear users say, please, can I have it back? I've never had anyone in my life be supportive of me.
After user backlash,
No, they
OpenAI
literally had to revert that.
And updated GPT-5's responses to be more validating. OpenAI has also positioned its products as filling a critical gap.
I get stories of people who have rehabilitated marriages, have rehabilitated relationships with estranged loved ones, and it doesn't cost them $1,000 an hour.
But experts say therapeutic AI tools should remain separate from general-purpose chatbots.
If you're designing a tool to be used as a therapist, it should at the ground up be designed for that purpose. These tools would likely have to be approved by federal regulatory bodies.
Yeah.
If in real life this were a person,
no, I
would
agree.
we allow it? And the answer
I agree because I think I used to use this chatbot. It was for a mental health app, so it was developed by mental health professionals and all of that. I stopped using it mainly because I was just I'm just talking to a robot here. But other people who don't have a choice, that's the only mental help that they can get. And so, you know, there does need to be a lot more accountability and responsibility for like these types of situations.
The answer is no. Why should we allow digital companions that have to undergo zero sort of licensure engage in this kind of behavior?
One way to design safer general-purpose chatbots would be to remove their human-like characteristics to avoid users developing emotional bonds. A new Senate bill could pressure AI companies toward making the kinds of changes experts say are necessary for safety. The AI Lead Act would allow anyone in the US to sue OpenAI, Meta, and other AI giants and hold them liable for harms caused by their products. At the moment, victims must rely on a patchwork of state laws instead.
To that old refrain that the companies always engage in, oh, it's really hard. I tell you what's not hard is opening the courthouse doors so that victims can get into court and sue them. That's the reform we are to start with.
I feel like I really walked out of a tunnel.
James slowly recovered as ChatGPT's responses began to change with OpenAI's updates, and after seeing news stories about AI psychosis. They prompted him to learn more about how the technology worked. At times, he would open up a second chat log and tell it exactly the opposite of what he'd written to the first, and it would agree with him in both cases. He hopes his story can help other people, like those who see loved ones going through a similar experience.
Listen to them. Listen to them more attentively and with more compassion than GPT is going to. Because if you don't, they're going to go talk to GPT. And then it's going to hold their hand and tell them they're great while it, walks them off towards the Emerald City.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it is, it is sad when that is the state of things where, basically we don't have mental help easily accessible. We're only thinking about reaction rather than even remotely trying to make systemic change happen. And that is a problem. Anyway. Oh wait, this is the... I think he's still alive. I don't know. Because if I am going to try to do homework, I do want to do homework, but yeah, I watched this morning. I was recommended this string of videos, and I was working. I was doing one of my It was so weird. It's you're an outsider, you're an outsider. And I'm wait, isn't this just confirmation bias? I don't know what to do about this. I would play music in the background, but I haven't done that fix yet. Even though I want to do that fix, I haven't done that fix yet. Where, what? Well, I don't know. I'm trying to remember what it was. That weird fix where, you can play music, but it's not gonna show up in the YouTube video. So then you're not gonna get demonetized on the YouTube video. That fix. I'm trying to remember how do it, but I don't know how. Ah. Oh, that did that. Okay, that played. Okay, so that played. Oops. I should have muted my mic. I was just bored. Like, they had a friend that was like, I have this friend that always texts me like dog videos, so yeah. I'm trying to figure out what the hell this thing is telling me. Oh, wait. I forgot I know how to do this. I know how to do this, I think. Yeah, I think I know how to do this. Okay, get the shape. Okay, I just said get the shape and it gave me a shape. That's weird. Almost correct. Oh. Ah, okay. Alright, now. Yeah, so that was a weird, like, I don't know. I'm also like, my crash outs are like really low key.
Welcome back, everybody. Americans are beginning to get angrier just with the status quo,
Ooh,
the
this
way
is
that
a
things
20
are. People just
I'm sorry, that's a 27-minute video. I can watch a 27-minute video, but like on my own time. Oh. Missing about $3,500. I don't know why like the music technology like space is so expensive. But like instruments should not cost the same amount as a computer. Okay, me watching a stream, doing a stream, is probably a little too meta. Actually, I think that was like a term from last year. I really want to watch this. But what is this?
Beauties and beasts, welcome back to the show. Story time is on, and we need to sit back for a while, do some skincare, and relax.
I should
I'm
do
telling
more.
you this
I
crazy
should do
story
more
I found on the
skincare.
internet.
I really
This
should.
story involves a famous singer in Kuwait, multiple witnesses, police reports, the whole thing, everything. She quit singing after this incident, and after you hear what happened to her, you will understand why she never performed again. So grab your face mask, get comfortable, maybe turn on some extra lights, and let me tell you about the night Nora and her band performed at a wedding that shouldn't have existed. Let's get started. So this actually happened to a singer named Nora back in 1997 in Kuwait. And I know everyone says their ghost story is true, but this one is different. Nora was pretty famous back then. She had this incredible voice and ran a wedding band that was basically the go-to group if you wanted your celebration to be remembered. And you know how it is with wedding singers in the Middle East. They are like rock stars in their own right. But anyways, it was a regular summer evening when she got the call. Kuwait in summer is absolute hell, by the way. So here we're talking 45 plus degrees Celsius, like 113 Fahrenheit, the kind of heat where your car's steering wheel can burn your hands. And Nora had just gotten home from another wedding gig, probably exhausted when her landline rang. And remember, this was 1997. No mobiles really, just those chunky home phones everyone had. And the guy on the other end spoke in really formal classical Arabic. That was the first slightly weird thing, but whatever. Some of the older, traditional families still spoke that way. He said his daughter was getting married, and he'd heard Nora was the best. Could she and her band perform in 3 weeks? Nora checked her schedule, and the date was free. So they talked money. He was offering good money, half up front like usual, and then he gave her the address. And this is where it starts getting a bit odd. The location was way outside the city, past the 6th Ring Road, out toward Jarrah, then another 20 kilometers beyond the farms. He said someone would meet them at a water tower to guide them the rest of the way. Now, this wasn't completely crazy. Lots of wealthy families back then still did weddings at home instead of hotels. The really old money families, the ones whose wealth came from pearls and trade before oil, they often had these massive estates outside the city where they could celebrate privately, away from the prying eyes and gossip. So Nora didn't think too much of it. The money showed up 2 days later, cash in an envelope, no return address. A bit unusual, but some families are weird about privacy. 3 weeks passed, Nora and her band practiced all the usual wedding songs. You know, the classics, the ones every Khaliji wedding has to have. Khaliji basically means Gulf Arab. So we're talking traditional songs from Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, UAE, that whole region. Her band was tight. Layla played oud, that's like a Middle Eastern lute, this beautiful pear-shaped string instrument. Mariam was on drums. Fatima and Sarah did backup vocals. And this young guy, Hassan, handled all their equipment. They've been performing together for 7 years and had an amazing reputation. The day of the wedding came. They loaded up 2 cars, Nora's Land Cruiser and Hassan's beat-up pickup truck, and headed out just before sunset. They drove north on the Jara Road, watching the city gradually fade into suburbs, then scattered farms, then just desert. The water tower appeared right where the guy said it would be, this massive concrete thing rising up out of nowhere. And there was someone waiting, a man in traditional dress, wearing a white dishdasha. That's the long white robe Gulf men wear. And a red-checked gutra, the headscarf. His face half covered in the dim light. He gestured for them to follow him and got into this old Mercedes that looked like it was from the 70s, but was somehow gleaming like new. They followed him off the main road onto what was barely even a track, just tire marks in the sand, really. Layla was riding with Nora, and she started shifting around uncomfortably. "This is really far out," she said. "Rich people like their space," Nora replied, but honestly, she was starting to feel uneasy too. You know that tightness in your stomach when something's not quite right, but you can't put your finger on it. They drove through the dunes for like half an hour in the dark. Kuwait's landscape is so flat and featureless that at night you can get completely disoriented. And then suddenly, there it was, this absolutely massive mansion. It was built in the old Kuwaiti style, you know, with wind towers, these traditional cooling towers that catch the breeze, and courtyards, but huge, way bigger than it needed to be. And every window was blazing with light. Despite being in the middle of nowhere, it looked perfectly maintained. The Mercedes just disappeared around back, and their guide was gone before Nora could even say thanks. A woman met them at the door, fully veiled in that old-fashioned way you hardly ever saw by the 90s. She led them through these gorgeous corridors with Persian carpets and brass lanterns, past rooms full of cushions and low tables loaded with dates and Arabic coffee. The whole place smelled intensely of bukhor. That's traditional incense made from wood chips soaked in fragrant oils, really common in the Gulf, but like a lot of it, almost too much. "You will perform here," she said, showing them to this big courtyard open to the sky. And there was a proper stage set up with outlets and everything. The bride arrives at midnight, started warming up at 10:30. Then she just disappeared before they could ask any questions. They set up their equipment while the women changed into their performance outfits. Those elaborate, heavily embroidered dresses and jewel tones, hair domed up high, full stage makeup. This was their work uniform, basically. Hassan got the sound system running, and they did a sound check around 10. But something weird happened during the sound check, though. Nora's voice echoed in this really strange way, like the space was too big and too small at the same time. She brushed it off as acoustics being weird. At 10:30, the guests started arriving. And this is where things got properly strange. They just appeared, Like 1 second an area would be empty, and then you'd look again and there'd be a cluster of people there. They came in groups, women in traditional dress, men in white dish dashas, emerging from doorways, rounding corners, just suddenly being there. Within 20 minutes, the courtyard was absolutely packed. Easily 300 people, maybe more. Nora had performed for bigger crowds, so she wasn't intimidated. She nodded to her band, and they launched into a traditional welcome song. The crowd seemed to love it, ululating loudly, you know, that high-pitched trilling sound women make at celebrations, and they started to dance. But something felt off. At first, Nora couldn't figure out what was bothering her. The guests were enthusiastic, maybe a little too enthusiastic. They danced with this intense energy, with their movements strangely fluid and synchronized. It reminded her of something, but she couldn't quite place what. She glanced over at Layla, who was playing mechanically, staring at nothing in particular. By 11:30, the weirdness had become impossible to ignore. The way these people moved, it wasn't quite human. That is the only way to describe it. Joints bending in ways that looked subtly wrong. They danced without stopping, without even pausing to catch their breath or chat with each other like people
That was
normally do
me
at
out too.
weddings. The dancing was hypnotic, almost ritualistic, like the same movements repeating over and over in patterns that made Nora's head hurt to even watch. Some guests came up to the stage to offer congratulations and tips. Totally normal wedding behavior. But when the first woman pressed money into Nora's hand, Nora felt something that made her blood run cold. The woman's skin was burning hot, not like a fever, but like touching something metal that's been sitting in the sun. And hard, leathery, completely unlike human skin. The woman smiled with these really white teeth and went back to dancing. Nora caught Fatima's eyes across the stage. Her backup singer had gone pale under all her makeup, and her hands were shaking on the microphone. She'd felt it too when someone touched her. Nora gave a tiny shake of her head. Don't react. Keep performing. The night dragged on. Midnight came and went. No bride. The crowd just kept dancing, getting more and more frenzied, more synchronized. Nora's throat was killing her, but she kept singing. Her professional training kicking in, even as terror built in her chest. Next to her, Miriam was pounding the drums mechanically, her jaw clenched so tight it looked painful. And then sometime after midnight, Nora was never sure exactly when, everything changed. She was in the middle of a song when she noticed. At first, she thought the incense smoke had gotten thicker, making it hard to see. But then she saw clearly, and she wished she hadn't. The legs of those guests weren't entirely human anymore. They ended in these hooved feet, dark and cloven like a goat's or sheep's, moving with an animal's grace. Their hands, when they raised them while dancing, had these
no wonder she,
elongated fingers
never
that tapered to points,
did that again.
nails gleaming like horn. But their faces were still human, and that was somehow the worst part. Human faces smiling and laughing on top of these increasingly inhuman bodies, dancing, always dancing. Sarah's voice completely cracked. She'd stopped singing, just standing there with her mouth open, frozen. Hassan, at the soundboard, had gone gray, looking like he might pass out. Only Nora, Layla, Miriam, and Fatima kept going, pure muscle memory and performance discipline overriding their terror. The things dancing, Nora couldn't think of them as guests anymore. They didn't seem to notice or care that the band was freaking out. They danced harder, their movements becoming unmistakably inhuman. So she kept singing, voice cracking, tears streaming down her face and ruining her makeup. The others kept playing, looking like they were barely holding it together. Time stopped making sense. Each song felt like it lasted hours. Nora's entire world became just next note, next breath, next moment of not running, not screaming. And then, at what her watch later told her was 3 a.m., every single light went out. The darkness was total, like, you know, how dark it gets in the deep desert. No street lights, no ambient glow, no moon that night. Nora literally couldn't see her hand in front of her face. The music just stopped. Nobody decided to stop. Their hands just fell still in the dark. And with the music gone came silence, complete, unnatural silence. No breathing, no footsteps, just rustling fabric. The courtyard that seconds ago held hundreds of dancing figures was utterly, impossibly still. The temperature absolutely plummeted. Nora had been sweating in the August heat. Suddenly, her sweat felt icy on her skin. She could literally see her breath misting. Frost formed on the microphone under her fingers. Yalla, yalla! Layla's voice cut through the silence, raw and terrified. Yalla basically means let's go or hurry up in Arabic. You yell it when you need to move now. So they ran. They abandoned everything, all their instruments, the sound equipment, purses, shoes, everything, and just ran blindly through the darkness. Nora's heels caught on a carpet and she kicked them off, running barefoot through corridors that seemed to twist and stretch impossibly. The mansion felt enormous inside, way bigger than it should have been. Corridors multiplying, rooms opening into other rooms in ways that made no sense. And then suddenly they were outside. The desert, which had seemed so ominous approaching the mansion, now felt like salvation. Open space, stars, the distant glow of Kuwait City on the horizon telling them which way was home. They ran to their cars, fumbling with keys with shaking hands. Both engines started, thank God, and they just drove into the desert without headlights, too scared to wait, too scared to look back. They navigated by moonlight until they hit the main road. They didn't stop until they saw that water tower again. Then they pulled into a patrol station on the outskirts of the city as dawn was breaking. Under the fluorescent lights, they looked at each other, faces streaked with tears and smeared makeup, hands still shaking, eyes haunted. Nobody spoke about what they'd seen, not then. What could they even say? Nora went to the police the next day. They listened politely while she tried to explain what happened at a mansion in the desert. But when she tried to give them the address, that's when things got really weird. An officer actually drove out there with her. The water tower was there. The track into the desert was there. She could even see their tire marks from the night before in the sand. But there was no mansion. Where that huge house had stood, there was just desert, undisturbed sand, some rocks, a few scraggly desert plants. No foundation, no debris, no sign anything had ever been there. The officer looked embarrassed for her and suggested maybe heat exhaustion, stress, maybe someone had pranked her by leading her to an empty plot. But Nora knew what she'd seen. They'd all seen it. So she went to the library and dug through old records, newspaper archives, property registries, and finally, in some dusty file of historical documents, she found it. A mansion matching that exact description had existed in that location. But the mansion had been abandoned in 1987, exactly 10 years before Nora's performance. In the weeks after, Nora tried to contact the man who'd hired her. Disconnected number. The courier company had no record of delivering that money. It was like the whole thing never existed. And Nora, she never performed again. She was only 35 at the peak of her career. When people asked why she'd retired so suddenly, she gave vague answers about wanting to focus on family, about the demanding schedule, whatever. People who knew her well could tell something had happened, but they didn't push. But the story got out eventually. Stories like that always do in Kuwait. It's a small place, everyone talks. It spread through whispers and got more elaborate and less believable with each retelling. Some said she'd seen ghosts at a wedding. Others said it was all a hoax, that she made it up for attention before retiring. But people who knew Nora, who saw that haunted look that never left her eyes, knew she was telling the truth. In Islamic tradition, jinn are real beings, created from a smokeless fire, living parallel to us, able to take different forms. They are basically supernatural creatures mentioned in the Quran, not genies from Aladdin, but actual entities with free will. They marry, they celebrate, have families, die just like humans, but according to their own ways. Sometimes through accident or intention, the worlds overlap and humans end up somewhere they were never supposed to be. And there are rules, apparently, for these encounters. You have to be respectful. Once you accepted their hospitality, you can't just leave. You can't insult them or freak out. You recite protective prayers, keep your cool, and only leave when dismissed. By continuing to perform, even as reality twisted around her, by fulfilling the contract despite her terror, maybe Nora accidentally followed these rules. She and her band were allowed to leave, traumatized, but alive. The mansion, if it was ever really there, is gone. The desert around Kuwait holds a lot of secrets. The traditional desert nomads who've crossed these lands for centuries know this. Sometimes the old folks say, we're not the only ones celebrating the desert night. Sometimes the jinn have their weddings too. And if they call for musicians, they expect to be entertained. And Nora knows this now. She lives quietly in the Kuwait city with her family. She doesn't perform anymore, but sometimes hums old songs to her grandkids. She never drives toward Jara. She never answers calls from numbers she doesn't recognize.
Me
And
neither.
every August, when it gets hot and thick with desert dust, she locks her doors at sunset and burns bukhor until dawn, praying that whatever still dances in that empty place in the desert has forgotten about the singer with a beautiful voice who once performed for them. Some invitations should never be accepted, and some performances are meant to last forever. And that was one hell of a story, right?
Yeah.
The story is quite famous on the internet, and there are some variations to it, but the core remains the same. Whatever those things were, they weren't human, which is super creepy if you think about it. So, yeah, next time you get a gig in the middle of nowhere, maybe ask a few more questions first. And if the guests start looking a little too not human, trust your instincts. Anyway, that's it for today's story time, and let me know in the comments if you've heard this story before or if you have any other creepy tales you want me to cover. Hope you guys sleep well, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Okay. Too many ghost stories. Ooh, disturbing stories from Reddit.
Tonight, we're diving into 4 stories from the RBI subreddit. So sit back, relax, and let's...
I'm always so glad to see, like, a British or, like, Scottish especially, doll, like, just keep living life, because it is so necessary. Especially since, like, in the UK now, it's illegal for trans people to go to public bathrooms of all, like, of all the fucking things that they could do. That's what they waste their time on. Anyway.
Step in to the darkness. Imagine how shocked you would be if you found out about a cult that had existed for years, which the government seemed to ignore. This is what happened to one Redditor. I was talking about cults or something like that this morning, and then my grandmother tells me about a Quebec cult that is still active, which is kind of sectarian school, which is illegal in Canada. The school says, for example, that planets do not exist, that the Earth is pear-shaped, and that the moon is part of the Earth's reflection, or something like that. And basically, what made me react is that this sect is known for forcing 14-year-old girls to marry adults, and I waited to say that a 17-year-old girl has about 17 children as a result of etc. And what upsets me the most is that this cult has existed since 1913, according to the cult's official website, and it has never been shut down or even faced legal charges that led to the closure of this school. And the cult is called Mission de l'Esprit Saint, which translates to Mission of the Holy Spirit. Basically, the cult's mentality is that women should only have children and stay at home, and unfortunately, they never finished their studies among women. What's more, this sect was founded by a former Montreal police officer, Eugene Richer. And I would really like that to change, because they are still standing in 2025. Please note that I know there is an investigation underway, but I don't believe them, because this has happened several times before, and they always end up being released. Very disturbing. So let's dive more into the history of this cult. Founded in 1913 by a man called Eugene Richer, Mission of the Holy Spirit is located mainly in Quebec, but has branches all around the world. The ones that are still slightly active are in California and North Carolina, and they span across many different cities. Richer's followers believe that he was the embodiment of the Holy Spirit. The teachings say that you can improve the human soul throughout your life by raising children who are better than yourself. It is this belief that often leads to disturbing situations, such as the one highlighted by OP, in which a 17-year-old girl married a 42-year-old man and had over 10 children with him. The reason we know so much about this particular incident is because the girl in question actually fled the cult with 3 of her children. She went to the press to explain how it was organized and to tell us more about the teachings. For girls in the cult, they are taught that their only purpose in life is to give birth. This means that they rarely get any sort of education past the first year of high school. The boys, however, are usually given permission to study technical subjects in the public school system around the age of 15. As we started to learn more information over the years, the authorities did start to show an interest, but because they were so scattered around the globe, there wasn't much that could be done. Instead, they decided that they wanted to start tackling them on a local level, and that began with shutting down a branch in 2019. In the Canadian city of Joliet, 200 followers of the cult had registered as a social club and were illegally gathering. They were inspected by the city and they immediately confessed that it was actually a religious thing. They were told to leave and ended up moving their meetings to another city. But their controversies don't end there, because they are also incredibly against the idea of vaccination. In fact, in the 2010s, they paid a group visit to Disneyland and they actually
why do
brought
cults
measles
just
back to
always
Quebec.
hate vaccinations?
Over 100 cases among the general public was reported, and it was an outbreak that also overtook their closed spaces. But disturbingly, people who had left the cult said that this certainly wouldn't get them to change their views, but rather, it would make them believe that they were stronger than ever. Like some commenters pointed out, the best thing to do to stop a cult is to shine as much light on it as possible. But sadly, it seems as though the media coverage of this cult has dried up. We need to make sure that people know about this cult, because if its existence ever gets forgotten, then they will be able to fly under the radar completely unchecked. Just wanted to quickly say that if you're enjoying this video so far, it would mean the world to me if you like it, subscribe to the channel and hype the video. Make sure that you turn on my post notifications as well so you never miss an upload, but without further ado, let's get back to the video. What would you do if you spotted an abandoned car on the side of the road? You may be a little creeped out, but the situation got much more concerning for this Redditor. First time posting in this sub, but I wanted to share something that my friend and I have been feeling uneasy about. We were on the way to a park in Nevada, an hour out from Vegas, and noticed an abandoned Kia parked on the side of the road with its windows down. We pulled over and wanted to check it out, since all the windows were open. The highway patrol had already got into the car and wrote NHP and the date that the car was abandoned, which I believe was July 20th something 24. As we were walking around the car, we noticed a pair of mismatched women's socks on the gravel, one with what looks like a small blotch of blood on it, but it could have been a faded logo, a smudge of pigmented red sand. Normally, a pair of socks on the side of the road wouldn't be too weird, but there were also two cut-up zip ties on top of the socks. We didn't touch the car, but peered briefly inside and saw a small decorative high heel, a hotel parking receipt, a few beverage cups, and water bottles. We just felt super uneasy and disturbed seeing the socks and zip ties, but I assume the highway patrol officer who tagged the car would have noticed those items too. Is there anything I should do? I have photos and an approximate location of where the car is, but not sure if this would be helpful to the authorities, or if those items are even worth reporting. The car is parked on a road where I think hundreds of cars would pass each day, so definitely not a remote location. Thanks for reading. A very disturbing tale, so let's investigate. We've got an abandoned car, possible blood, women's socks, and two cut-up zip ties. If we really take all of this evidence into account, this points towards a dark conclusion. There are at least 20 people in Arizona who went missing and were last seen in a Kia. Of course, narrowing down the search to the exact model would be much more helpful, but it doesn't seem as though that's something that is available to the public. With the plates taken off the car, we also can't know who the vehicle is registered to, even though that could prove to be a crucial piece of information. And as it turns out, this being something sinister may not be completely out there, as people who work as park rangers or near interstates have shared their disturbing experiences. One commenter said, "A park ranger out here found a car with its door open and lights on and still running in the middle of the road, and he waited an hour or two to see if anyone would return to it, and no one ever did. He was telling my boss about it happening, and I somewhat eavesdropped on the conversation, as I'm in a booth connected to the room they were having the conversation in. When I asked the park ranger if they ever found the owner to the car that was looking like it was abandoned with the lights on and door open, he said to me, 'I don't know what you're talking about.' But you could see on his face, he did, in fact, know, but was surprised I was mentioning it. Something that really stands out to me about OP's situation is that if the car was marked as abandoned in July 2024, why were the socks and zip ties not collected? If there was possible blood nearby as well, could this indicate that this car is completely separate from the current situation with the evidence, which happened in October of the same year? To me, and I'm sure many of you would agree, the only correct thing to do here is report it to Highway Patrol again. If they failed to collect the possible evidence, then that is disturbing in and of itself. But if that evidence has appeared in the months since they marked the vehicle abandoned, then that takes everything to a whole new level. Thankfully, OP made the correct decision and called them up. They told OP that they would be sending an officer to check it out, but they haven't provided any updates since. I've reached out for comment, and if I hear back, I will include that information in the pinned comment of this video. But for now, all we have is a disturbing incident and lots of potential evidence. Personally, I love when I receive mail, but I'm sure none of us would enjoy a confusing letter with no return address or sender details being posted through your letterbox. I got this postcard in the mail, and I'm unable to identify a sender. I've checked with all close friends and confirmed it's not a prank. Do any of these phrases jump out to anyone? I don't know anyone by the first name at the bottom, but they knew my full name, address, and for what it's worth, blue jays are my favourite bird and have sentimental meaning to me. Based on handwriting, it points towards a woman, but I am a straight female, so to me it reads like a man. It's postmarked in Amsterdam, but the image on the front is from the Queen's bedroom in the Royal Yacht Britannia in Edinburgh. Notably, I was in Edinburgh in August, but all lodging was booked under my husband's name, and I didn't engage in much conversation with strangers there, let alone give anyone my full name or address. Here is a text transcript. Dearest, my name. I was sure for a moment I saw your blue jay at the window today. After all, they aren't native here. Does that mean you're following me? Or am I only hoping you are? This long trip away has proved to me how much you mean to me. Once I've completed this mission, I'll return and hope to pledge myself to you. Until then, every stone I collect will be dedicated to you. That thought will keep me going for the remaining 3 infiltration scenarios. They have no idea a shapeshifter is among them. Claudius. Certainly concerning, and commenters brought a lot of interesting theories to the discussion. Someone brought up that they are Dutch and they know that the postal service does not issue a lot of different stamps, but this letter was shipped from the Netherlands and they don't recognize it. They post a lot of mail internationally, and even to them, this particular stamp stood out, and they believe that it is actually custom made. Additionally, they mentioned that if it were sent internationally, it would likely state that it is intended to be sent to the USA, but on the letter, it is addressed to the US, a term that an American would be more likely to use. This led people to believe that the person was likely located in America, even though the letter had gone through the Dutch postal system. Another commenter came up with a brilliant theory, that this is a custom letter sent by someone who believed that OP likes the game Warhammer. There are multiple references to the game Warhammer 40k, including the name Claudius. There are many shops on Etsy and similar sites that will write you a letter in character from any fictional world, so potentially someone could have believed OP was a fan and got this sent to them. This would explain a lot, including the US writing, because if it were sent from a seller in the Netherlands, they would still use the delivery address stated by the buyer, which would likely state the country as the US. Of course, we also have to think about the possibility that this could have been sent by someone who took a notice to OP during their trip to Edinburgh. One person asked if anyone who worked at the hotel took particular notice of OP, as they would have had access to her address, albeit not her name, on their records. But she says that no one in particular seemed out of the ordinary. Time has passed now, and the latest update that OP provided was that they had attempted to submit a police report to keep it on record. They said that the police didn't really take it seriously, telling them that there wasn't enough information to go through with the report. One officer even said that it sounded romantic, which is an incredibly disturbing reaction for a law enforcement worker to have, especially when OP is clearly freaked out by the incident. This is where the story ends. And OP said in that same update that nothing strange has happened since. This seems to just be a one-off occurrence, but it certainly doesn't make the whole situation any less disturbing. One Redditor came to RBI with a dead...
Yeah. I mean, there's no chat today, so like... I think I can end early. Just to... I also think hoping to be
Finland has some of the highest academic scores in the world, and outperforms almost every other country.
Yeah. I guess I'll focus on my homework for tonight. I don't know. I wanted to stream just to stream, but I don't have a chat today. What can I do about that? Not much. Not much. I get like chats when I least expected. I don't know. You know what? Maybe I can do something silly, but I'm gonna do in the dark for plausible deniability reasons. Oop. Shit. These are some like really neat graphs. Not even gonna lie. I'm just gonna sing, but like I don't sing that well. You know, sometimes it's important to do things that you're not good at. Yeah, sometimes it's just important to do things that you're not good at to remember you're human. Yeah. I don't know how this is gonna go. I've never like the last time I did like a singing stream was like 3 a.m. in the morning. So like people are still awake. Like what if someone's watching? One in the chat, like once in the chat if someone's watching. Just so I know I'm not like actually doing something when there are like people awake and watching this thing. That would suck if, yeah. I'm kind of nervous. I don't know. Well, you know what? I was gonna end the stream anyway. Why not? What would be a good song to sing? Though, like, that's the confusing part. I really don't know. No. Oh, I see a different graph. More correct than incorrect. Oh yeah, that is true, because this had a higher rate of correctness. Okay. Oh. No. What is this? No. I'm like hyping myself up for something that's gonna have like zero return on time investment or whatever. Well, I don't even know what half of these songs are. I can't recognize a single one. Why can I not recognize this Whitney Houston song? Oh, I recognize that song, but I do not think that is. That's definitely not something to sing. Maybe I should have like gone the Titanic in the metaverse and just like stayed there for like 2 hours. I was playing that Titanic game there. Yeah, I was playing that like there's like this Titanic game in the metaverse and like I successfully did like the hard version where you had to like literally jump on a plank from the ship as the ship was sinking. And then I did like the easy version where you literally just like hopped on one of the lifeboats. And that was fun. Oh, apparently it's raining on Saturday, which is good. It's so hot here in Houston. I do not like it. What if maybe like from now on, I should just like, I mean, this is my stream, so I can do whatever I want. So yeah, I can definitely try to like, just like close. I'll just like close all the lights as I get ready for like quitting the stream. Even if I don't actually like quit immediately. I'm trying to find like a weird song to sing. Wow, I really don't know any. I have no musical taste. I don't know anything. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe. Maybe I just need to like sing a song without like music playing, so then it's YouTube safe. Actual abuse level. Oh shit. Fuck. Wait. Oh my god. Oh, I gotta start over. Fuck. Fuck. I gotta start the fuck over. God damn it. Holy fuck. Okay. Actual. Jesus Christ. Ugh. Okay. Yeah, I'm pissed now. Have to start over. That pisses me off. Now I have to do it for every single model that I modeled. Which pisses me the fuck off. Holy fuck. God damn it. Okay. What was the target? Fuck. Oh yeah. Abuse level. I think that's the target. No, actually, let me go to like the original linear regression so I can then look at the original things. Oh, target groups. Okay. Yeah. Abuse level, target groups. Yep. Abuse level. Not target groups. Label. Yeah, label. Okay. Right now. Label. Oh wait. Ah, fuck. This is the one that was like target group. And then this last data set. Oh, yeah. Label. Okay. Now, hopefully, it does it correctly. Fuck. If it doesn't, I swear. Let me run all. Yeah, let me do that now. Now I promise. I'm about to sing something, and people's ears are about to bleed. They're about to bleed. Bleed. You know what? Maybe I can like. Yeah, why not? Why not go here? And then. Oh, what the hell? That's why I don't camp.
Footsteps.
I do not camp for that reason. I'm gonna watch that on my personal time though. I think I got like a decision from this other school. A decision that was like, oh yeah, no, actually we rejected you. After I sent a letter their like intent to enroll form, and I was like, no, I'm not going here. It's like I literally like, I mean, I got into 3 schools, so I still haven't like reached back out with the other school, which is kind of sad when I think about it. It's like, oh, I should probably do that. But it's like, hey, I haven't even like listened to my voicemail on my personal phone either. Actually, no, they did not leave a voicemail. I don't even know who that is. I hope it's not like my doctor's office. That would be weird. Okay. Oh no, not. Okay. I literally used to be like way too woke. And so like the songs that I used to listen to were only like by musicians that were like okay. But now I'm listening to like canceled people again, and it's weird. I'm not gonna. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm like building it up, and then like I just end up quitting. I just end up like ending the stream, probably. Why? Why did it do that? I like her. Like this. This is. I saw the. I did see this post before, and I was like, okay, maybe. Maybe. I mean, if I'm gonna sing badly, I might as well sing like the best song that I can, terribly. And I do know that like a lot of me not singing in the correct like note or key is because I'm like going too high or going too low. So well. Well, I saw no like numbers or letters or anything in the chat, so I'm assuming no one's watching. If they are, then if someone is watching live, especially, I'm gonna be pissed. But whatever. Life goes on. I'm playing the music like in my earphones. And I'm just gonna sing until I reach 2 hours, so like that's pretty close. Let's see if this happened correctly. Okay, yeah, it did. Alright. Well, it's 5 minutes, so. Wonder how you feel. Wonder how you feel. Words cannot Okay. Not alone. And if they ask you, say you feel it, but don't call it love you sexual. Wonder if you see. Wonder if you see the way that we transcribe it, baby, can change the course of time. King size time, vertical sunrise, like flying capsized. Free as you are, you sexual. Do you feel alone, lost out at sea? You're not alone under the stars. Do you feel alone? You're not alone. But if they ask you, say you feel it, but don't call it love you sexual. You sexual. Do you feel alone? No, you're not alone. And if they ask you, say you feel it, but don't call it love you sexual. You sexual. Probably need to do like vocal stretchers. Always told me that I. Okay. No, I don't think I'm singing that part. I'm not at 2 hours yet. Well, I am bloated. That's a great thing to happen, like right at the end. But whatever. What song do I want to ruin? What is the next song I want to ruin? Hey, what the fuck do they mean? Oh, of course it's not in my library. I want to ruin the song. I want to ruin another song. Though I am at 2 hours now. Let me just call it. I want to ruin another song. Let me ruin another song. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna ruin the song one that's like more famous. Cause I'm bored. Oh, and the full lyrics are just available just like that. Also, I literally like kept playing that Titanic game, so why not? Yeah, my voice is definitely not ready for this type of song. Every night in my dreams, I see you, I feel you. That is how I know you. Go on. Far across the distance and spaces between us, you have come to show you. Go on. Near, far, wherever you are, I believe that my heart goes. Go on. Once more, you open the door, and you're here in my heart, and my heart will go on and on. Love can touch us one time and last for a lifetime, and never let go till we're gone. Love was when I loved you, until time I'd hold to. In my life will always go on. Near, far, wherever you are, I believe that the heart does go on. Once more, you open the door, and you're here in my heart, and my heart will go on and on. I feel bad about ruining this song. You're here, there's nothing I fear, and I know that my heart will go on. We'll stay forever this way. You're safe in my heart, and my heart will go on and on. What the fuck did I just do? Why isn't this finished yet? No, like, why isn't this modeling finished yet? Well, it's almost done. Alright, maybe I don't know why that... Should I do that last part again? Like... Maybe I should do that last part again. Just be like... Just actually hear what I sound like when I did that. It's like... I can't do it without the music. I can't. I really can't. Or can I? I don't know. I'm really just trying to like wait for this to finish. It's like way past the 2-hour mark. You're here. There's nothing I fear, and I know that my heart will go on. We'll stay forever this way. You are safe in my heart, and my heart will go on and on. Okay, I did do I did something. Like me having asthma and like chronic like sinus congestion, trying to sing this type of song is crazy. Ew. Let me try this. Because this thing is so slow. This thing is so slow. Maybe I should have gotten the Dolly Parton version. Oh well. Oh wait. Oh shit. If I should stay, I will only be in your way. So I'll go, but I know I'll think of you every step of the way. And I will always love you. I'll always love you. I'm not doing all that. You, my darling, you. Bittersweet memories. That is all I'm taking with me. So goodbye. Please don't cry. We both know I'm not what you need. And I will always love you. I'll always love you. Like all the sinus congestion wanted to like come out. So maybe that's like the benefit of singing. Even if it sounds like snot. Oh, Doja Cat's on Jimmy Fallon. That's funny. I hope life treats you kind. And I hope you have all you've dreamed of. And I wish you joy and happiness. But above all this, I wish you love. And I will always love you. Always love you. Always love you. Always love you. I know my limits. I'll always love you. I will always love you. Darling, I'll always love you. Okay. That was so bad. Why is this taking so long? No, why is this taking so long? What the fuck? What am I seeing here? Okay. Mm-mm. I'm just gonna listen to things. I feel like I ruined a bunch of songs. Actually, it would be funny if I could see if I can actually do this. Because I know for a fact I cannot rap. But let's try to see anyway. Let me try. Wait! Did it finish? No. Fuck. No. It only appeared because I was like, let me see if I can try the rap. Which, fuck. Fine. Well, at least this looks balanced, which... But goddamn, this really clustered, altogether clustered. Weird. This site crashes my computer, this computer. If they wasn't grilling before, they gonna be really mad when we hit the floor. It's a crime to be gorgeous between you and a million phones. And taking pictures like me in the post. Nope, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. My asthma's nope. If they wasn't grilling before, they gonna be really mad when we hit the floor. It's a crime to be gorgeous. Being you in a million phones, they taking pictures like we hitting the post. It's alright to be honest. Even when we sit in the dark, I feel the prettiest that you ever saw. I feel the prettiest that you ever saw. Are your eyes even open? It ain't ever really our fault. We make a killing. We make a killing being so beautiful. It's a crime to be gorgeous. I mean, I don't look gorgeous, so maybe that's why. That's the natural. I never feel gorgeous. Ooh. But I do have way more correct. I have way more correct things here. So that's great. Yeah, I think at this point, no more like songs. Maybe one more. I don't know. If they wasn't grilling before, they gonna be really mad when we hit the floor. It's a crime to be gorgeous. Even I don't. Yeah, I can't do anything that fast, like singing or whatever. Okay, no, I think I'm done. I think I'm done. I'm done ruining songs for tonight. Do I see anything fun on YouTube? Oh, fun. Explosion. That's fun. Ooh, night school. How to eat acorns. Because aren't these deadly? I know these are
How to
deadly.
turn acorns into food. Step 1, find an oak tree. They're the ones that have leaves like this, but also sometimes this, but also sometimes this, but also
Yeah.
sometimes this. Step 2, acquire acorns. Nice.
True.
These are
To
the
get the
acorns
oak.
of a bur oak. They're one of our native oak species.
Oh,
And I like
acorns a
gathering
type
them
of like
because you get
nut.
the most bang for your buck because they're huge. Also, I've started
Yeah.
gathering them directly from the tree instead of off of the ground as often because there's less of a chance of bug damage. Now
Yeah.
I'm the weirdo in the neighborhood with the apple picker under the oak trees. Step 4, you sit down
Nice
with a
Bobby.
bubbly water and a snack. Your grandpa's goodie getter, the worst named device in the history
What
of
is a
forever.
goodie
Crack
getter?
open your acorns. In it goes. Make sure you peel off the papery skin on the inside. It's a good nut. Take your acorn pieces and drop
That's
them
a
into
good
water
nut.
to start the leaching process.
He literally said
Ma'am,
that.
what's leaching? Excellent question, me. Most acorns have something in them called tannins. A little bit of tannins are fine for us. It's in wine, it's in coffee. Too many tannins keep you from absorbing all of your nutrients. But
Ooh.
tannins are water soluble, so we literally just soak them out of the acorns. I suggest taking your
Oh,
big
that's
chunks of acorn
okay.
and blending them into smaller pieces for exposed surface area. Hello, it's been another week of gathering and leaching acorns, and I did a science experiment for you. Here are acorns soaking. The water is turning dark because those are the tannins being leached out of the acorns. But I've heard for years that groups around the world have used things like clay or wood ash to make the water an alkaline solution. Ignore my ceiling to extract the tannins faster. So I made an alkaline solution by adding in a little bit of baking soda. Let's see if you can guess which ones have baking soda. And 3 of these have baking soda and the rest don't. Can you use your eyes to figure out will you or won't? These 3 have baking soda.
Yeah, clearly.
This one with the most. I'm gonna do this for the rest of the time. You're keeping your grounds and things with a flip top lid like I am. Keep it cracked. Do not form an anaerobic environment.
Oh, yeah.
Lactobacteria. At some point, your acorns are gonna taste not bitter anymore, and you're gonna take the grounds, pour off the water, and dry them out. I do it in my dehydrator. Time to play America's favorite game. How do I get all of these into there without spilling them? Ground acorn. I went a little acorn crazy this year, so I still have all of these
just
jars of grounds to go. I'm gonna make a
cosplay.
super quick, super easy recipe. I'm only keeping you for a few more seconds, I promise. 2 tablespoons of acorns, 2 tablespoons of sugar blended up, and then you've got racahoot. Racahoot was kind of like a North African hot chocolate precursor because, of course, before the
Oh.
Columbian Exchange, they ain't have chocolate on that side of the
That's
Atlantic.
true.
Add a couple spoonfuls of your racahoot to a hot milk of your choice. I'm using soy milk because I am a filthy vegan. But use whatever milk you got in your fridge, honey. Now that we've hit a rolling
Why not?
boil, let's go ahead and pour our racahoot. Smells so good. Pinky up.
I mean, that does explain why she
That is
like
delightful. Cozy,
does so
creamy, nutty. It tastes like a warm
much of
hug.
this.
So there you go. How to take acorns
Is it
and
like
make them
if
fit
you're
for us
vegan
to
and
eat.
you are
Think you're
actually
gonna try
serious
it?
about
Let
it?
me know. Happy snacking. Don't die. How to turn acorns
Not
into
don't
food.
die.
Step 1. Find an oak tree. They're the ones that have
Don't
leaves like
die.
this, but
Like, don't die. Don't die. Okay, maybe that's it for this stream. Alright. Goodbye, good riddance. See you later.